Hey there, welcome back to the cordless vacuum guide, and continuing my series on auto-empty robot vacuums, we'll be looking at iRobot's flagship, the Roomba S9 Plus. It's iRobot's most advanced robot vacuum with its latest navigational technology and most potent motor, making it one of the best options at cleaning debris regardless of surface. But it's also one of the more expensive alternatives, so the question is it worth the high cost? To help you find out, I've spent the past few days putting it through my usual series of tests to see if it's worth the premium price tag. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get into it. First, let's look at where this robot sits in Roomba's hierarchy and features. The S9 Plus is Roomba's latest, armed with iRobot's latest navigational technology they call Imprint Smart Mapping. So it not only draws maps, it can also save them. There are two options available, the S9 Plus with a clean base station and the S9 without it. The Plus version will obviously cost more, but the clean base station adds a convenience wrinkle where it empties the robot's dustbin automatically after docking, ridding users of this menial task. It's an obvious time saver, especially for busy folks who may not have time to babysit. This model is also the first Roomba with a D shape, similar to a Neato BotVac. In fact, it's the only one in Roomba's lineup with a square front. I'm not sure why iRobot made a change, since all of its products utilize a round frame. But changing up the design is a welcome sight, as all the enhancements improve its cleaning performance drastically. The most obvious enhancement is the wider rollers. I measured it at 9.5 inches from end to end, wider than all other robot vacuums I've tested, except for the Neato BotVac that measured close to 11 inches. It's even wider than the Dyson V11 torque drive, and this width enables it to be more efficient, picking up more debris with each pass. The wider extractors, plus its relocation, also necessitated changes to the side brush design, which is now smaller in diameter, has two more arms, and closer to the edge, making the S9 one of the best, if not the best, robot vacuum at cleaning edges. It aced the edge cleaning test, picking up nearly every crumb in this area. It also picked up most debris in this quarter-inch crevice, a positive side effect of having high airflow. More impressive is its performance in the coverage test, where it purposely scattered Quaker oats on these areas, two of which are close to the clean base station, and it picked up most of it after one pass. The side brush also doesn't spin as fast as earlier Roomba models, so it doesn't scatter as much dirt. Combined with a high airflow, which we'll look at later on, these extractors help it pick up dirt cleanly. If you look at this clip, there are no debris trails and nothing between rows. After the first pass, it picked up almost everything, even areas near the clean base station. You'll also notice the dirty tag in play here, where it moved back and forth on several areas. It's a technology that helps it focus on dirtier zones, and you won't see this in other brands as it's an iRobot patent. The S9 utilizes V-SLAM or Visual SLAM, combining a top-mounted camera, an optical sensor underneath, and SLAM to move in straight lines. iRobot calls this Imprint Smart Mapping, so it can draw and save maps. It's a similar technology found in the i6 and i7 variants, and iRobot seems to dial back the aggressiveness with these premium variants as it doesn't bump into furniture as hard. It's much better than a random navigating Roomba like the 675. However, it lags behind a Roborock with obstacle avoidance, as it didn't avoid these alcohol bottles, pushing them forward but not toppling them over. Imprint Smart Mapping allows it to draw maps, pinpoint its location, and clean specific zones. Nonetheless, one drawback to using a camera is its reliance to a light source. You'll need the lights on for the S9 to map out the area successfully. It may need to do more than one run to create the map. Doing it in a single run is possible, but you'll need to remove any potential obstacles that can hamper the robot, such as light area rugs. There isn't any live map with the S9, all you see is this graphic while the robot is doing its run, so there's no way of knowing where the robot is during the cleaning cycle. One positive with the S9 app is it can save up to 10 map levels, 6 more than Roborock and 8 more than Ecovacs. After drawing the map, users can divide areas and add containment boxes iRobot calls keep out zones. Unfortunately, the app doesn't have access to an invisible wall feature, so there's no way of drawing diagonal lines. The iRobot app also has access to clean zones, which is the opposite of keep out zones, where users can draw boxes or rectangles on areas that may require more attention. You can use this in conjunction with the scheduling feature to automate the task. Tying all these features together is the clean base station that will empty the robot's dustbin after every run. iRobot was the first to introduce this feature with the i7, and the S9 Plus has it as well. It utilizes a bag system, which I prefer over a bagless one, since the bag automatically seals itself when you pull it out. iRobot says it can hold up to 30 days worth of debris. It has a similar capacity as the Yeezy Vac station I tested previously, as both bags look similar based on the eye test. The S9 base station is usable on hard surface and carpet with its port location underneath the robot. Its port is bigger than the i6 Plus, so it should do a better job at pulling debris out from the robot's dustbin. Airflow is excellent with as much as 25 CFM at its highest setting, the highest so far amongst robot vacuums I've tested so far. Consumers will have several options to utilize this power through the app, either detailed clean with the middle setting, providing better performance at the expense of runtime, or quiet clean, which is perfect for light-duty tasks, prioritizing low noise over cleaning performance. Custom settings are available, providing consumers an option to control power settings manually, or increase the number of passes to 2 if needed for a more thorough clean. The high airflow and rubber extractors make the S9 one of the best at debris pickup regardless of surface. It picked up one of the highest averages on hard floors and carpet, consistently making clean passes. It picked up most of the sand after a single forward pass. With the max setting, it got 100% on average after 2 tests. Even with the middle setting, the drop-off wasn't significant at 99.2%. Right now, it's the best deep cleaning robot vacuum out of all the brands I've tested, with a 93% pickup, thanks to the high airflow, extra wide extractors, and dirt detect. One telltale sign of high airflow is the absence of buildup on the brush roll assembly, which was the case with most robot vacuums I've tested. In the S9, there wasn't much, if any, since most of it was picked up and inside the dust container. Speaking of which, it's a tad bit larger than the i6 or i7 at 500 milliliters, and I like the wide opening, so dirt disposal won't be an issue. That is, if you're purchasing the non-plus version without the clean base station. The dustbin is washable, but the filter inside is not, since it uses paper material. Regardless, I like the top-mounted placement, which is easier to detach. Please note that the non-plus S9 dustbin doesn't have this port underneath, so you'll have to make up your mind beforehand before purchasing either the S9 or the S9 Plus. Another benefit of the wide extractors and high airflow is the above-average hair pickup on both the 5 and 7-inch tests, where it got 81 and 82% respectively. All the strands, at least for the 5-inch test, wrapped on the axles, but in the 7-inch test, some of it wrapped on the roller, but most of it were on the axles, which is easier to clean. There were some strands wrapping on the side brush, so it's another area to look at least for the maintenance aspect. These tests reveal that the S9 rollers aren't totally maintenance-free, but still excellent at resisting tangles to a certain quantity. One downside of having high airflow is how the extra juice cuts into the runtime. With the S9, it maxes out at 75 minutes with the lowest setting, but if you use the max power exclusively, that number drops to around 45 minutes. One reason is iRobot uses a smaller capacity battery versus its competitors, which is a huge factor. Another downside of using a powerful motor is the noise. The S9 ranged between 67.7 and 74.1 decibels based on the sound meter test, so it gets loud. To conclude this review, the Roomba S9 Plus excels at one thing: cleaning debris on both surfaces. It had the highest score so far of all robot vacuums I've tested, and it's the best at deep cleaning embedded sand on mid-pile carpet. The clean base station adds a layer of convenience since it empties the robot's dustbin for you, ridding you of this task. I like its one-piece design since it's ready to use out of the box. Its port placement makes it usable on both hard floors and carpets, so there are no issues with this aspect. However, this robot vacuum is costly, one of the most expensive options available. Runtime is compromised with a high-powered motor and a smaller capacity battery, but with the recharging resume feature, this shouldn't be a sticking point. Overall, it's an excellent product that vacuums floors exceptionally well. If you don't mind paying for it, you'll enjoy the hands-free benefits that the clean base station brings to the table. Let me know what you think about the S9 Plus in the comments section. If this video has been helpful to you, consider giving it a thumbs up. Links are in the description for more information and a review on my blog. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified for future reviews like this. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.